What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back for a little transfer talk, little transfer rumors, transfer wish list at this point, as we don't know what's going on in or out the club. But we know we're going to make sales. We know we're going to have to bring players in. So I've got another one. I mean, it's a long-term target of mine. People won't be surprised of the name I'm talking about in Ronnie Edwards. I'm going to speak about him a bit later, but we're going to speak about Crysencio Summerville too, as developments go on his outgoing, I should say, to either Chelsea or Liverpool, or maybe some other suitors as well that we don't know about. But there's going to be a transfer race for his signature, so that will be one to monitor. Before I get into it, you know the drill, people. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Thank you to Mr. P and John Abbott for the super thanks on the last couple of videos. Much appreciated, guys. And Chris saying, "Yeah, Runner, yeah, Chris, you know the drill, man. We know how we know how good he's going to be, but we're going to talk about him in a bit. Hello to Liam, and yeah, listen, hello to everyone in the chat or who's watching. Matthew, what's going on, KJ? I'm good, man. It's late Sunday, man. I thought I'd just do a little quick stream. I was going to do it recorded, but I thought, you know what? Let's get people's thoughts in who can join now. If you can't join now, just give them after and put them in the comments below. Gavin here, Sunday night update. Thought we were signing Mbappe. Well, listen, Gavin, it was a close one. According to sources in America, namely Heinz, Kylian was very impressed when he met former owner Andrea and captain Liam Cooper. He said, look, the PSG project is going to end soon. And if you guys are in the Prem, I would love to join you. And apparently, I'm hearing that Peru had no problems leaving the number 7 shirt vacant for Mbappe, impending his arrival. But as we saw, we didn't get promoted. So Kylian turned his intentions elsewhere, I'm afraid, Gavin, and everyone else. And he has decided to head on over to the 16-time European champions, Real Madrid. It was close, though. It was close. We had a stake in there. You know what I mean? We threw in a decent wage packet, shares in Leeds United. Red Bull going to send over a fridge case of Red Bulls every week. Almost had the deal done, but unfortunately, Real Madrid have beat us. But look, hey, once we get up there, maybe we can go back in for him, yeah? As well as Erling Haaland. But listen, evening to everybody. Yeah, evening to everyone. But look, speaking of Real Madrid, I have to say it, man, because obviously the Champions League final was last night. And, you know, they just get it done. They just get it done. And that's what winners do. And I don't know what coverage everyone was watching. I was watching the coverage with Jose on it. Jose, who has now gone to Fenerbahce. And I hope that they clean up now with him in charge. I hope that they get back to the top of Turkish football at some stage. With Jose in charge. But he was saying something that is just so simple, because it is simple, in that Carlo Ancelotti, who has now won 5 Champions Leagues as a manager, Don Carlo, people, another one that goes up into the Hall of Fame easy, the eyebrow. You know, The Rock's got the people's eyebrow, Don Carlo's got the Don eyebrow, yeah? He was just talking about how simple football should be. And he's not a social media manager. And I thought that was very interesting. I guess we would count, people, me and you would count as social media managers. He was talking about how everyone keeps on coming up with new names for positions and everything else like that. And he's so right, Jose. I know some of the game has kind of passed him by, and I think he has to accept that. But he is right with the basic fundamentals. Carlo goes with man management, knowing how to manage stars. And you think how stacked that Real Madrid roster is. He's done well. He's done well yet again. Yeah, champions of Europe next 5 years. Hey, listen, it's close. It could be close. Hey, JJ, Mbappe heard a free trip to Flamingo. A free trip to Flamingo Land almost sealed the deal. It's close, JJ. I'm sorry, everyone. Mbappe ain't coming to Ellen Road this year. But, you know, time will tell, people. Time will tell. I've still got it, though, and I don't mean this in a satirical way. I do see Erling Haaland signing for Leeds one day. It may be in the twilight of his career, but you know what? I take it. You know, one of those. I take it. I like to see Alfie back at Ellen Road one time as well. But yeah, just Don Carlo and the way that he handles himself, handles his business, and to think people thought that this man was finished just because he couldn't do something with Everton Football Club. Crazy, 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 crazy. Just before we leave the Real Madrid theme, one person that I've got to highlight is Antonio Rudiger. People like that follow me on Insta will know how much I love this defender, but he is now the last of a dying breed. The last of a dime breed, one of the last real men defenders left. Bonucci's just retired. You know, he joined Chiellini in retirement. Rudiger, Pepe is still banging about, and Pepe is still doing a fine job, by the way. But Rudiger is the last of the real men. I absolutely love this defender. And if we was doing a draft and I could pick my first centre back, this is the guy. He's got everything you need, defends well, quick as hell, does that funny run when he's running back, dogging him, absolute dog. He winds you up. He won't leave your side if he's man marking you. Perfect defender, absolutely perfect. Antonio Rudiger. But yeah, we're a million miles away from Antonio Rudiger. But look, you know, maybe one day I'm going to sign him on FIFA though. I'm going to make it my mission to sign him on. Well, it's not FIFA anymore. It's FC 24. I'm going to sign him on there. You'll see it soon. So it's funny when I'm playing that and I post it on the stories and people saw Grealish in the shirt. Some of you were like, not even having it on a computer game. It's so funny, man. So funny. The unambiguous, his knees bend the wrong way. This guy is just he's just a freak of nature. Freak of nature. I've always liked Rudiger, but he stepped his game up even more with Real Madrid. I guess you have to at that football club where excellence is the only thing accepted. So fair play to him, man. Absolutely love it. And yeah, Jonathan, one day KG Leeds champions of Europe, and hopefully, Jonathan, it's in our lifetimes. It's in our lifetimes. Gavin, I'm going to go back up to Gavin because he obviously wanted me to see this list of free agents or who he thinks are free agents. Gavin, all I'll say is that a few of these names are just absolute no ways, but one of them in particular, Josh Brownhill, and I say this because I joke with Connor about Josh Brownhill, how Connor thinks he's like the Xavi of football. He's actually got another year on his deal at Burnley, so he's not free this summer. But yeah, thank you for posting that anyway. But yeah, he looks like Smith behind him. Yeah, he does a bit. He does a bit. He must just be a one of those camera people. But yeah, listen, shout out to Real Madrid, and that's what I love, man. Winning mentality. And then they go and sign Mbappe, Endrick. Just never stops for that football club. Absolutely amazing. Just that, yeah, just the ambition. Love the ambition by Madrid. But look, people, we're here to speak about our matters. Yeah, Leeds United matters, which is now, you know, talking about Somerville. Fabrizio updated us, I think it was yesterday. Chelsea and Liverpool still keeping close eye to Crysencio Summerville's situation at Leeds United. Both clubs have been monitoring him this season and showing interest in recent weeks. Nothing advanced yet, but talks with the Dutch winger are expected to begin soon. And yeah, I mean, people, I don't know about you guys. I'm very resigned to losing Somerville. I think that if anything, the 49ers have probably, they're not willing to go, but in order to raise a bit of capital, raise a few funds, and to honor him, because in all fair, he should not be playing another year at championship level. Selfishly, I wish he was here and I'd take it, but realistically, he shouldn't be here at the championship level. So I think it makes sense for both 49ers and the suitor clubs to come in and try and negotiate a deal. Now, hopefully we can get a bidding war going in terms of raising that price a little. We're hearing it's around 33 million, maybe 34. I think that's good, and I think we'll get add-ons in that and possibly a sell-on clause. What I would say here, well, actually here, Aja, is it Ija, yeah? As a Liverpool fan, please don't sell to us. Well, I quite frankly don't want him going to you. Now, I know there's in historical terms, there's a rivalry between Chelsea and Leeds, and I know a few Chelsea fans, but they're nowhere near as annoying as you lot. So I do not want him to go to Liverpool. Just seeing him in that Liverpool shirt would suck. You know me though. I don't care where people go once they leave Leeds United, but when I see them go Liverpool, man, ugh, that club. All of a sudden, once he goes there, scores a goal. Oh, Somerville, he's so class, isn't he, mate? Oh, he's the best player in the world. Oh, it would be a nightmare, absolute nightmare. But fundamentally, I want what's best for Leeds, and I want the best deal for Leeds United. And we've spoken about it in terms of Chelsea. If we could get a deal to them, could we possibly get a loan player back as well as a fee? That would be a slam dunk of a deal, you know, for us, getting a full transfer fee and, you know, a loan player back. But it has to be one in particular. Look, not every Chelsea loan is going to slap, and we know that. Remember Izzy Brown, people. So not every Chelsea loan is a slam dunk, yeah. But maybe even Liverpool as well. And I know people have, you know, suggested to me Carvalho. Arnie Slot has just taken over, so we don't know what his plans are for Carvalho. Maybe he wants to see him through pre-season. Maybe he wants to see him in some Liverpool friendlies before he decides. But he could have a future there. Carvalho also may not want to come back to the champ after doing it with Hull. Maybe he wants to go into the Premier League or another top league around Europe. But again, if we sell to Liverpool begrudgingly, if we could get a fee for him and the loan, that would be good business by Leeds. But even if we don't get a loan back, people, if you get the highest price possible for us, that is still great business. Don't be disheartened if we don't get a loan player back. I'm not Tom. I'm not Tom. I'm really not. And yes, you are that annoying. You really are that annoying. As soon as anyone puts on that Liverpool shirt, they're all world class. But at the same time, you're still the underdog. But at the same time, you're still the best club in the world. You're annoying. Accept it. Uh, Daryl here saying, I reckon we could get 40 max for Cree. I think he gets straight into the Chelsea squad. Oh, yeah. I mean, there could be even a case where Sterling leaves Chelsea. But even so, Sterling was well out of favor with Chelsea. But I can see it. I can definitely see him. You see the profile of player that Chelsea go for now. It's the young potential that they can mold. Hey, man, Somerville might even get that shiny. Oh, no, they can't do 8-year deals no more, but maybe 6-year. And shout out to you. I'm glad you're taking it in good spirits, man. I'm glad you're taking it in good spirits. But yeah, you think of Madueke, you think of Cole Palmer, even Nico Jackson to the certain point. They're all around that same age. And yeah, I can easily see them going from. I can easily see why Chelsea would want to buy him. But of course, we know that these two are named. There could be other clubs that come into it as well that we don't know about. Gavin here saying Cree to Palace when Elise departs to Man United. I don't want to see Elise at Man United, but again, that could be a possibility. And yeah, Palace could be in the background. That's what I'm saying. That there's going to be different clubs in for Cree. The thing that we need is more interest, the better. And that's just for us. That's selfishly for us, so we can get the price up. Gavin saying Hutchinson on loan. That would be a good choice. Obviously, we saw what he did for Ipswich Town, but I think the problem there is that I think Hutchinson's looking for a Premier League loan. So it could be a case that he actually goes back to Ipswich Town, which makes a lot of sense as he already knows the manager there and everything else. I think it would probably make sense for them to keep him there. Much like what's his name? I can't even remember his name. Forget it. But he went from Man City on loan to Sheffield United and champ, then did it again in the Premier League. James McAtee, that's him easily. Let's have a look. Matt here saying already linked with Gilchrist of Chelsea, a right back who can play centre back. Definitely, yeah. I've seen that, but it's loose links, man. Loose links. I'll speak on that when it gets a little bit more solid. Yeah. Pause. Big pause. Jack saying, I hear people say we can sell Somerville and replace him with X, and all the names make me feel sick. Tell Red Bull to get the checkbook out, please. Oh, speaking of which, guys, cheers. You go doing my part, people, doing my part. One of those. But yeah, listen, Jack. I hear you, Jack. But the one thing that you have to accept and try and accept, I should say, is that we are not going to get a like for Somerville. It's just not going to happen. So what we have to do, if you think of it this way, Jack, is that the money that we get is going to be reinvested, but it's going to be in different places. And hopefully, even though we won't get the stardust that we get in Somerville, we will be better suited or better built as a team going forward. So we don't have gaps in our midfield where we don't have an attacking midfielder. So we get goals from midfield. So we get solid fullbacks. So we can buy centre backs and loan, centre backs and in other areas as well that we need. So yeah, we're losing a star, but hopefully we can make the squad stronger. And if you look at it that way, I hope that will make you sleep better because it's helped me. That's all I'll say. I'm not, I keep seeing Philogene. I'm not with that one, man. I don't. I'm not into the Philogene one. I did my video about with a winger that I would get, and that is Morgan Whitaker. Absolutely ticks all the boxes for me. Philogene for me, doesn't do nothing for me. Doesn't do nothing. But if he's to come, I mean, we'll speak about it then. But yeah, I'm not going to do a profile on Philogene because I'm not convinced by him long term. I'm not. And obviously, it's not about long term for everyone, but you know that you're going to have to pay for some of these players, and you've got to think, can they do it in both leagues? Can they do it for the Championship and Premier League? Now, obviously, when you're loaning, you don't care. You're doing it for the short term. It's for this season and this season only, or we're still, well, this season, next season and next season only, and that's all you care about. But ones that you're buying, I always have an eye on. Do I think they can play in the Premier League? And that does come into my thinking with ones that we're going to buy. Yeah, exactly, John. We need a balanced team. And even though we did have players that could play in the positions that I've just said, he didn't trust them. So you're hoping that we move those on, bring in new players in that he will actually utilize from the bench and maybe give them starts when it's a Tuesday, Saturday situation, unlike before where it was the same team sheet every single game. And you're hoping that he can utilize the squad more because he trusts these people. Mike Balanoff, Jack Clark to replace Cree. Again, Mike, I would at this stage, Jack Clark has developed lovely. He's done brilliantly to be where he is now. The only thing is how much is he going to cost? A young English talent, how much does that cost you? And it all depends on that, doesn't it? That is going to be a big factor. And that's why I think Morgan Whittaker is probably the more attainable option. But listen, this is the thing. We don't know anything. We don't know our budget. We don't know who we're going to sign. We don't even know at this point who we're going to let go. The retain list hasn't come out as of yet. You think it's going to be this week. And I do think, people, that the retain list is being delayed because Liam Cooper's name is going to be on the released. I think there's going to be a whole bunch of goodbye stuff like they did with Stuart Dallas, probably even on a bigger scale because he's been captain for so long. So I think that's probably what the delay is. Maybe they're doing videos, goodbye videos. Maybe he's doing a speech, do us proud, lads, doing one of those speeches to the current squad. I think it's probably something to do with that. Don't quote me on that, but it feels like that to me. But yeah, in terms of Jack Clark, I hear it, and there is, and you do think he's probably got the potential to step up. So I'm not too mad at that one, but I think how much does Sunderland want for him? You know what I mean? It could be a pricey one. Matt saying Johnny Rowe to replace Cree for me, 21 years old, brilliant player. Yeah, Johnny Rowe as well. I know I've seen this shout before, and a few people were doing on it because he played so poorly against us in the semi-finals. What people need to put into account or take into account is that he had just come back from a long-term injury from January. So he wasn't even half match fit. And I'm being generous because he did not look sharp at all in those two games. So yeah, Jonathan Rowe, yeah, that's the name, I guess. But again, we'll see as the window opens and yeah. Matt Odes, I remember your name, Matt. First live stream I've caught in a while. Looking forward to the Red Bull money onwards and upwards. Yeah, ching ching, baby, ching ching. Yeah, exactly, Mike. And he was up against Senior Purple, exactly. So you can't, give him a damning verdict on those two games when he was nowhere near match fit. And it kind of told with the times he was substituted in those games. But he's a good pitcher. He's a good player at this level. But yeah, so there's Somerville. Let's keep an eye on this one. And we go again. Yeah. Why do I keep getting asked about these loan players? Look, people, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. I don't want any of the loan players back. And I hope that just a blanket, all of them, whichever loan players that you're thinking of right now, I don't want any of them back. And the clubs sound like they're going to do everything they can to move all of them out. And look, we know Rucker and Harrison have got clauses in there to go back out on loan. I fully expect those to be utilized by the buying clubs, because why buy them when you can get them for loan? It's absolutely risk-free from their part. Yes, they're paying their full wages, but at least they're not stuck with them for 3-4 years. Yeah. So I expect those two to go back on loan, and I expect the 49ers to do what they can to make sales on the players that are coming back. What's the point in keeping them? Seriously, no point. John saying, need a bit of experience in the squad. We are a young side. Yeah. And that's where, I mean, I've said it on the last video. If you haven't watched the video with me recommending a few players, I said Craig Dawson. And Craig Dawson wouldn't be a starter for 46 games, but he will play for some of the games, and he'll be in the background doing all the leadership stuff off the pitch. You get a wealth of Premier League experience there, and it's a cheap deal to do. He's got a year left on his deal at Wolves. I think it would be perfect for the Championship level. And like I said, if the worst case scenario is that you have to give him 2 years to get him signed on, do it and you work out the year once you get up. That's what you do. But you need experience. And if it's not Craig Dawson, I'm not saying he's the be-all and end-all. I'm saying along those lines. You know what I mean? I'd think of a Tarkowski if he wasn't so married to Sean Dyche at Everton, and I don't think he'd be willing to drop down to the Championship. But I'm thinking along those lines in terms of an experienced head at the back. But then we also do need loan signings or another centre back to go with it, because we can't have the situation when we have Ampadu coming back into defence. We need him to stay in defensive midfield. Um, Sam saying thoughts on Jefferson. Yeah, he's a talented young player. I think you talk about the one from Sheffield United, right? I'm assuming this is the one you're talking about. If it's not, please put the different name in the chat. But yeah, Jefferson, he's a fine young player, but the only thing is his striker, and where's he going to come in? Because for me, the way I look at it right now, people, is that our two forwards at the moment, barring any incomings, are going to be Peru and Joseph. That's what it looks. That's what I'm hoping for so far. And I just think about Jefferson. If he's coming in, where is he hoping to get game time? That would just be it for me. Um, Zane saying, KG, will we be seeing you back collabing with the Coppish lads? Well, look, if we do sell Somerville to Liverpool and they want me on, I'm there for them. They know that they only have to ask, man. Those are my guys. They're all my guys. So yeah, I will begrudgingly come on and speak about Somerville if we sell him to you. Um, But yeah, sliced bread. Ed Joseph getting loan probably. No, Joseph. The reason why I think Joseph is staying, just from his Instagram post, I think he's determined to make a go of it here. And you got to think him and Farker are going to talk. Him, Farker, and his agent are going to talk about his situation here, because he's got suitors this summer. He had suitors last summer. You know what I mean? So we need to do right by Joseph, because he's worth playing. I said it before, but I say it again. If he was at another club, we'd be chasing Mateo Joseph. Oh, Spain under 21, scores goals for fun, mobile, quick, holds the ball up, got an eye for goal. Let's go and sign him. He's here. Use him. Um, exactly. Yeah. Please let Joseph start, please. Yeah, listen. Yeah. Okay. So just moving on now. I said I wasn't gonna go too long, but you guys are brilliant in the chat, I must say. You always make these things fun. That's why I came on live. It's Sunday, everyone chilling out. It's all good. Gavin, don't joke on that one, man. Talk of Tyler coming back. You know what, man? I never want to hear Tyler. Is it Tyler Roberts you're talking about here? Yeah, because I don't think Tyler Adams will be welcome back to you. I try. I almost sued the club. Let me come back. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, Tyler Roberts. Oh man, no. Let's leave that ghost in the past, Gavin, please. But yeah, someone that we need to look to the future is Ronnie Edwards. And you guys know I've spoken about this defender before. 21 years old, Peterborough centre back, has championship experience from a couple years ago when Peterborough were in the league. Has been playing League One since. But let me tell you about this defender is going to the top. And what we need to do is get ahead of all the Premier League teams that are going, should we, shouldn't we? Get ahead of it and try and sign him, because this is a player that I see playing at this level and then going on to the Premier League. No problem, no questions asked. Much like my other suggestion of Milan van Eerwyk at right back from Coventry, he's another one that I see stepping up to the next level. And the way that you do it, because we know, and Palace are in for him, and you can see why Palace are in for him. Fits the profile of a Palace player in this era now. Palace are going for young, hungry players, and you could see him there going with Adam Wharton, fitting in, trying to break into the England team. I can see it happening with Ronnie Edwards. He's going to be that guy. Gavin here saying, what's the price for Edwards? Now, this is it for me. In terms, oh, thank you, MJ Split. You're the GOAT, KG. That's why we have fun in the comments. Well, I love that, man. Thank you. Back, I appreciate that. What's the price for Edwards? Peterborough, and if you know Darren McAntony, he loves structured deals. This guy loves a sell-on clause. He loves a price that triggers another payment to be made. And listen, we aren't going to be able to pay a 10 million price, but the way that Leeds United could do it is by saying, we'll give you a base figure, give you a good fee, up front. Maybe we got a player that we can loan them. Peterborough love loaning young talent, but it has to be forward. I think he doesn't loan. No, wait a minute. Does he loan defenders but not forwards? Yeah, he doesn't loan forwards. He only loans midfielders and defenders back. I think that's what he said. Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, Chelsea are looking at Ronnie Edwards among many other many other Prem teams. Do we have a chance? You think, well, this is how you do it. Yeah, exactly, Matt Davis. Sort of player you want, as you say, don't buy cheap, you buy twice. Exactly. You buy cheap, you buy twice, Matt. You know that one. But the way that you do it, though, people, is that you get in ahead while Premier League, because Premier League teams do it all the time. They are, they don't do it, much like Ivan Toney and many other players in the lower leagues where Premier League teams just don't touch them because it's like, oh, should we buy this one or should we go to La Liga and buy Oscar Garcia instead and see how he adapts? They do it all the time. So get ahead of it, sell the project to Ronnie and say, look, we know you want to go to the Premier League. We know that. But this is a great pathway for you to get there. You're going to get football here. We're going to try and what then you do with Peterborough is say, we'll give you a base fee and then upon promotion, we're going to give you extra payments. And I think, I don't know if it will be doable. That's obviously Darren McAntony's shout. But I think that is a way that you can get in front of a deal of where we're not going to be able to offer probably the full amount that a Premier League team will. That's how you do it. Trigger it with clauses, maybe in appearance fees or, upon promotion, you get this amount of money. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. But he is somebody that I would love. And please, before anyone says, well, we've got Charlie Creswell and he doesn't play him, before anyone says anything, let me not be so horrible, silly like that. They are two different defenders. Yes, they're both young, but Ronnie Edwards is a ball-playing defender. He's much different to Charlie. With all due respect to Charlie, Charlie is a bit more of your meat and potatoes kind of defender, where he's just going to jump into everything and give you, blood on his bandages. Ronnie is a more ball-playing defender. He will play out from the back, which, as we've seen with Daniel Farke, he likes to do. So it just makes sense to me. And you're looking at now and the future. I just don't see the negatives in this one, but you have to strike a deal with Darren McAntony and Peterborough, of course. James here just saying, I'd love to sign Milan Van Eerwyk from Coventry. He was outstanding last season. Yeah, James, he's another one that probably has Premier League interest too, James. But that's what I'm saying. You can get these deals done, but you have to be quick. You have to get things done. Hey, people, you think if Victor Johansson was still free now and people had time to know where they're going to be, and there was more teams than Stoke that went in for him, does he still end up at Stoke City? Maybe not. But he's at Stoke because Stoke went in hard and heavy and said, we want you, and this is how much we want you. We're getting you this early. We're paying wages for you that we don't need to pay for the next couple months. This is how much we want you. That's how you do it. Gavin, we can convince Peterborough that Erasmus is good. And Matt here saying meat and potatoes is always fine, but you always better if you add sauce. Yeah, of course. Look, there's nothing wrong with having meat and potatoes defenders. You do need them, especially at championship level. You've seen the league; it's full of these defenders. But when you get like a ball playing centre back for a possession team, which we are in this division because we are one of the better teams, it fits the bill 100%. But listen, March on podcast here. Edwards is a decent options. We also need more experience right now. Maybe Bednarek, not for me. He won't be playing for Saints. Whoever we go after, be quick. Lesson learns from last preseason's mess for sure. Yeah, and listen, March on podcast and everyone else. It's not just about signing a young defender. This is in addition to getting like a Craig Dawson or March on podcast here, Bednarek if you want. Not for me. I understand it. He went up with Southampton. I get it. But yeah, I'm thinking more of just your out and out defenders. And Bednarek for me is he's a bit of a hazard when you get at him a bit. And he's been a hazard ever since his Premier League days. So, he doesn't really give me comfort. So, but if he gives you comfort, cool, leave it in the comments. But I'm just thinking more of those presents at the back that I just feel are just smoother. Craig Dawson isn't a Rolls Royce at the back, but what he gives you is defensive stability, both defending corners and attacking them too. And you have to get in a few options, guys. We can't get in that position again where we're having to not use Cooper or Creswell. We need to use our defenders so Ampadu never sees centre back again. That's the hope. Gavin here saying, I think Rodon is staying. Well, listen, Rodon, this is what I mean. Everything, guys, it's going to be exciting, good or bad, because everything is up in the air. Rodon has Premier League interest in him, which was bound to happen. If we could get him back as well as a couple others, we have to fill out the squad. We barely used any players last season, and we hardly used the bench as well. So we do need to get the squad better so we don't run into the same problems we had come the end of the season. Matt C, I'm not putting that name up. No, no, no. And I hope he gets loaned, sold, or somewhere, just get him out of the way. Um yeah. Oh God. Honestly, when we get linked with names, some of you just never let them go. And I don't know if it's you fans or other content creators, but you just don't let the names go, man. Like, let them go, seriously. God, Lord have mercy. I need Che Adams to get snapped up by Wolves. Get it done. Get that signing done, please. And Nat Phillips, get a move quick because I don't want to be seeing Nat Phillips linked with Leeds rumors all summer. Um, Jack, I look forward to watching Jan Bednarik try and defend the Premier League level. Pure comedy. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to stay. I got to be honest. I don't know if Southampton are going to retain him. He was not Premier League level last time they were there, and he even got loaned out. Didn't he go out on loan to Villa at one stage? I'm sure he did. But yeah, I don't see him staying there. To be fair. Um, yeah, no, no. Bella Kopchak won't be coming down to the Championship. No. Good player though, but yeah, not championship. I'd be stunned if that happened. Isaac with the super chat. Thank you, Isaac. Uh, got a feeling this window will be one of the best we've seen in a while. I trust our current owners and RB expertise will be vital. Strap on, people. Whoa, whoa, Isaac. I mean, what do you mean by that? Eh? What do you mean by that? But I hear what you're saying with the original message. I am as well. And obviously, you guys, we all know proof is in the pudding. Lip service is lip service. Actions speak louder than words. We'll see what we do with the squad maker. We'll see if they've learnt the lessons of this season just gone. And hopefully, we will get a more rounded squad. Yes, we will lose the Stardust, but we still have a bit. I don't think Dan James is going anywhere. We'll still have Ampadu. We'll still have those kind of players. We've already got a solid base. Let's fill it out and add to it with some quality and some people that we can use as squad rotation people. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, you come on. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Big time, man. But yeah. Um, Chris here saying there are so many quality strikers we could go for. I would be trying for more, same as we should have in January. Yeah, I hear it, Chris. I don't know what it is at this time, at this point in time, people. I'm not looking at strikers right now. I think I'm looking more forward to see what we do with our current ones. More to the point, if we really do move out Bamford, which is a big rumor, and I hope that does happen because I mean, it frees the club in so many ways. I can't even put it into words, but if we're left with say Peru and Joseph as our strikers, and we filled out the rest of the squad, I'm not mad at that. Especially if we can get two attacking mids, some fullbacks, some real fullbacks in the team, some centre backs, obviously, and obviously a goalkeeper. And I think we could sell Melier for a decent price, probably not as much as we ever thought we would. But yeah, I think there's changes to be made, and not all of them because we did well in the end. Remember, we got that 90-point trophy, but we do need filling out in certain areas and improvements. Ash here, thanks for all the content and all your hard work. Always look forward to your videos and stream. Thank you, Ash, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Bricks on the coast. Has Jordan James gone to Atalanta or can we get him? Yeah, again, Jordan James is another youngster attacking midfielder that I would have as one of the options in the team. But again, he's got interest from higher leagues. But do your homework, do your work, get in there and get the signings done. Now, listen, if Leeds do better than all these suggestions, then I'm over the moon, people. I'll be real with you. I don't, and what I will say is temper your expectations. Not every signing is going to be a marquee signing. You need squad players. You need people that are going to play that role of saying, all right, I know I'm not the first choice centre back, but will I get a little bit of game time? I can accept that. Otherwise, if this isn't FIFA or Football Manager where you can sign 4 world-class players and just, even if they're unhappy, keep them around. No, these are real-life players. So you always have to have your starters, but then you have your role players that come in, and we do have to sign some role players in the team. Natalie saying here, Joseph from Peru and a goal scoring midfielder would be sufficient for this league. Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Natalie. And in terms of that, that's why I said Schmudix. Again, Schmudix being linked with Premier League moves. But if they're stutter, and you got to think, if they're gonna, stutter with other moves, a 28-year-old attacking midfielder, you got to think maybe they're still, hesitating on that one. Let's go in for that. I'm sure, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I've gone for a scoring midfielder with that one, not a playmaker, which I know a few of you want playmakers. But if you've got a goal threat from midfield like that, another one as well, leader on the pitch, got that dog in him, loves to wind people up, so people will love that, especially in this fan base. I would say go out and get him, depending, of course, on the price Blackburn want. Yeah, he did. Daryl, Josh Doig got relegated. Yeah, he did. He's available again. Matt, listen, Matt, I really hope the 49ers prove you wrong. And other people that keep saying these kind of things. We've seen worse players in the history of football, and they've been worse than Bamford. There's been a couple worse than Bamford, and they've got moves on bigger money. There are ways of doing it. If just look, just because you don't know how that these things happen, they get done. Whether it's the selling club paying a little bit more to the striker to leave to supplement his future wages, that happens. Lowering the transfer fee in order to let the move progress, that happens as well. There's many different ways that you can make a move happen. It happens all the time, people. But yeah, listen, we'll see. And I've already said, if Bamford himself just says to the 49ers, I'm not going anywhere. I've got 2 years left. I'm not mad at him because we shouldn't have given him that contract. And that's the player's right, I'm afraid. I'll never go against that for the player. I will never do that. Even if I personally don't rate them at all. Um, Nah, that's disrespectful to Choupo-Moting. He did some good things for Bayern, not a lot, but he did all right for a man. Now that's disrespectful. Isaac saying he's got suitors for sure. We might help with partial wages, and it doesn't even have to be partial wages. Isaac, it could just be like a payment, not to the value of the remaining 2 years on his deal, but almost close to it. Maybe a year and a half to say bye and good luck at your new club. Man, it happens more times than you guys even realize. Seriously, but I can't, that's all I can say anyway. SJ44, Jorginho's abysmal finishing concerns me. He should have got 20 last season. I made this point on the Keep So bench video, and if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that one, people. He's a young guy. And listen, I'm not rewriting anything here. His finishing is atrocious, which is why the fact that Farke ever said that this guy's a striker is laughable within itself. But what I will say is, as a playmaker, 20 goals would be perfect. And if that happened, then we'd be saying goodbye to Jorginho in a heartbeat because he wouldn't be playing for us next season. But I still think there's an outside chance he's here. What he is a playmaker. He's a chance creator. And I always say this. I always go back to examples of great playmakers like Deco, Rui Costa in particular. They didn't always get 15, 20 goals, but you weren't asking them to. You were asking them to be a provider. And listen, he's the thing with Jorginho as well. What people have to take into account is he's still young. He's still got time to work on that finishing, which needs work. People, we know that, but he's not finished. People talk about Jorginho like he's 32 years old. I think he's barely 22. He might still be 21. People, he's got time to develop. He's nowhere near his final form, much like Archie Gray. These guys are still developing. So Jorginho could be here next season and out of nowhere hit 15 goals, and you go, geez, where did that come from? But it comes through development, it comes through learning, it comes through game time. So yeah, don't give up on Jorginho just yet, man. He did well for us last year. Yeah, David, yeah, trying to get through a not suitable for work word there. But yeah, don't go over the top when it comes to Georgie, man. He did brilliant for us. If it wasn't for him in Somerville, you know what? Yeah, exactly, Alison. Peru as well. I'm counting on that. Look, I've got Peru in my keep section because I think there's a second year arc coming. But you know what? Let me just get something up before we head out. While I'm here and while you guys are you guys are all right in my company for a little bit longer, innit? Yes, KG, we are happy. All right. Well, I'll stay for a little bit longer, yeah, because I want to just show you this from LUFC data. Now, I'm not going to show you this whole thing because it's 50 championship stats from Leeds. I mean, it's loaded, people. It's absolutely loaded. But I'm going to go on to the one that the thing I've been saying with the eye test backs it up with the stats. So let me go to it. 12 on ago. No, it's not that one. 19 clean sheets, not that one. Opposition box. It's not. Here it is, people. Here is the one. 41%, right, of the attacks come from Leeds left channel on the pitch in the championship in 23-24. The highest percentage share of any side in the division. So when I've been saying to you people that our game plan has literally been Jorginho and Somerville and hope for the best, I'm not lying. Because what this doesn't mean is that then the other half comes from the right. No, it means that others come from central, comes from the right, and other areas of the pitch. But 41%, that's basically almost half of our game plan has been through Somerville and Georgie because they play both on that side. So they've been carrying a lot through the season. And yes, both fell out of form towards the end. Georgie had an injury that he should probably not been playing with, but we need to vary that out. And that's how much reliance was on both of Somerville and Georgie. So that's why I always said to people when you're criticizing these two are probably the last two you should be criticizing in the whole team, because they've done a lot through the season. That's a lot of the share through 46 games, people. That's a lot. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Allison is right. Yeah. Saw this on X. Great stats. Yeah. Please, people, LUFC data, man, there's many more in there that I don't need to go into, and you will look at them and go, oh damn, that's the reality of it. And it's a decent read. So yeah, if you got a minute or two, obviously this is the reason why I haven't brought this up previously, because I'm trying to look forward now to the new season. But again, probably looking at this one is saying what we need to do more of in the new season, and that's just vary our play a little bit more, not be so methodical and slow at the back and then hand it out to Somerville and hope he can stick one in the far corner, because he's not going to be here. So we're going to have a new a new plan. Jack, I keep but let's be honest, in front of goal, he's pure garbage. We have to coach him, and that's what. Hey, listen, Jack, that's what coaches are paid for. What do I say on here before? Yeah, let the coaches coach. They have to coach. And that's where it comes into. Players will always have natural ability of this and that, but that's where coaches come in to refine the rough edges. That's what they're there for. And that's what I'm not gonna, you can stick with anyone, you can stick with anyone. Look at Ancelotti with Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. was never a graceful finish. Vinny Jr. is a perfect example. Now, again, context. I'm not saying that Jorginho is going to be the next Vinny Jr., please. But Vinny Jr.'s finishing, man, he's not the same player now as he was back then. And please, does anyone remember the quote from Benzema about Vinny Jr.? Don't pass him the ball. He's playing against us. That's a real quote by Benzema about Vinny Jr. at once upon a time, because he was not good and he couldn't finish anything that was put in front of him. He was not confident in front of goal. You fast forward through coaches like Ancelotti, who's done wonders with Vinny Jr. That's what you get. Now, yeah, we don't have Ancelotti as our coach. Again, I'm going to say that before people say that in the comments. Well, we don't have Ancelotti as a coach. But that's what happens with players. Players will have the raw materials. It's up to the coaches to refine them. And Chris, I still have no faith in Farke KJ. I know this, Chris. I know this. That's why Bamford will stay. That's why Joseph will want to move. Farke cannot adapt. Well, look, we'll see in the summer, because I think it's going to be a collaborative effort between Farke and the 49ers. They're going to have to come together in terms of saying, no, this player is not good enough. We need to move him on, and things like that. And listen, time will tell. We're only on the 2nd of June as we do this, people. Time will tell what happens with certain personnel. But I know, look, I'm not going to stop people that want to keep talking about Farke not being the right man in the comments. That's your prerogative. But the reason why I'm not getting involved with that is because we know from Parag's own mouth he's going to be here. So the only thing I can do is try and give suggestions of what I think Farke would like and what Farke would do. That's all I can do at this stage. And if it goes pear-shaped, we'll talk about it in the season. But hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't. We have to say that. Well, yeah. So yeah, listen, people. Okay, right. Yes, yes, Chris. I know Davide Ancelotti is your new favorite. I got you. I saw your message as well. I saw your message. Yeah. So yeah, listen, people. I think that is it, people. And thank you for sticking with me for the last bit. Man, we went longer than I thought it was. I thought this was going to be a quick 20, but no, it was good, man. Good speaking to you guys tonight. Obviously, because it's the off season, there probably will be a few more recorded videos than lives, but I will still go live, especially if there's a big, signing, big announcement, big news, that will always be a live one. Just stick the notification bells on so you know when I'm going live or uploading, and get involved in the chat. It's always good to see you guys. But yeah, people, like the video if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below if they're sensible, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out. Glad you enjoyed it, people.